Well, good evening, guys. How you doing? How's everybody? And that was some footage from my short stint of being a Mavic Mini, a DJI Mini 2 owner that I was showing during the pre-show. That was the first flight that I made with that thing, and just flying it around, playing with it. I was trying to get a feel for the sticks. Did a horrible orbit in that building, but not used to the sticks and how much to move them to get. So at any rate, I thought it might be fun to show you that, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that, like everybody else, about the DJI Mini 2, what I really liked about it, and why I took it back. And I was watching Mel's stream, and I noticed that I'm not the first guy to take one back either. So we'll talk about that. I see Art sitting in the being very graphic in the green room, and let me just say a quick hi to everybody, and then I'll get over to Art. Jody Drone Shots started out with a, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I've had it up on my screen all day. At 5 o'clock, it says about time, because normally I create the stream about 1 or 2 o'clock, and Jody's always right there with a thumbs up and a hello in the chat. So he said about time, and then the next line says, been waiting all day. So thank you for the loyalty, Jody, but sorry that that's all you got to do on a Sunday. I'll try to be more punctual next week. And we've got Michael McReynolds here, and Ed, brother Ed, love my drones, is in the house. Joe, Jaybird, how you doing, buddy? And Art, I know Art's here. Ken Hofbauer, how you doing, Ken? Good to see you tonight. Down the View Chasers here. Good evening to you. And who did I miss? Rick Halber. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you could make it tonight. Joe Blaylock's in the house. Hi, Joe. Paulie, Drone Bum. How you doing? And the second Paul, MN Paul, Minnesota Paul's in the house tonight too. So Paul squared. And I think that's about it. So let me go ahead and bring our friend Art in and say hi. But first, I need to make sure I got his music. There he is. Arthur?
Hey, it's great to see you, Mitch.
Your mic is seems like it's breaking up again, and I don't know why that happens, Art.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just me hearing it, because we had the same problem with some of the guys last. Carlos too. It was kind of a crackling, kind of a overdriven.
Yes, I hear it too.
Sound. Yeah. Do you hear it on my voice?
I heard it during the music. Oh, I just heard it a second ago. I heard mostly through your music before
you did,
your
huh?
show started.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what's doing that, and I know I hear in my headphones. I'm listening through my mixer, so what I'm hearing in my headphones isn't going through StreamYards or the internet or
Right.
anything else. But I don't know what causes that, Art. I've tried different settings. Let me go to audio and try to turn off the
Yeah, I still
echo
hear that
cancellation and
popping.
automatically adjust mic volume. Let's try that and see if that makes it any better. What do you think?
Let me hear. Yeah, it sounds better.
Yeah, I think that was better. I think it might be the thing that might be causing that might have been that automatic volume
Oh,
thing
okay.
that StreamYard has.
Maybe,
Anyway,
yeah.
they keep changing. Everything keeps changing. Every time you finally get everything down pat, StreamYard changes, YouTube changes. The create the new live stream pages.
Yeah,
What
seasons change.
seasons change? Yeah, yeah. It's
And so do I.
you know, I'd make a
What
hell of a
song is
song
that
there.
from?
Yeah, make it. Oh, I know what song that's from, but it's
It's an old 60s song.
yeah. And
Seasons changes, so do I.
well, what's the name of the song?
Yeah.
You can't remember
God, I
either,
can't
can
even
you?
remember the band, and it's like, oh
You
man.
can't remember either. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
that's on classic rock and roll.
Yeah.
Old guy in a drone.
No, don't do that. People will think they're tuned into the iSpike show if we start playing music all night. Yeah. Agent K, and we need not wonder why, he says. Well, you're right on,
Oh,
Kay.
yes.
But who was the
Was it the
Joe Blaylock
was it the
says sounds
Yardbirds?
like a mic is turned way up. Is that my mic, Joe, or is that Art's mic? Help me out here.
I'll turn it back.
No, I think
Tad.
your audio's okay. Maybe mine is a little loud.
Maybe I just won't talk too close to the microphone.
Yeah, Art was excellent. An honest review about the Bugs 20. Well, that has Joe Blaylock says hiss. That hissing sound you hear is probably my fan going because it just I need the fan running on me here. I'll turn my mic down a little bit and see if that. Let me know if that's if I've made it too low. Anyway,
Well,
we'll make it through. We'll make
yeah,
it through.
we'll muddle through. Yeah.
Night Train, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike.
Good to
Carlos.
see you, Carlos. Guess who
And-
song? The Guess Who song is what Carlos said.
Oh yeah, guess it.
Was it? Guess who?
Yep, I think it was.
Grown Days is here. How you doing, Bob? Good to see you. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I got a big, very proud moment when Chris Hope posted his video flying his Tyra 119 that he built.
I saw
was,
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was really great. That was good to see, and that's the first home new drone flyer build and flight
Yep.
success that
Cool.
we actually helped them out on here with from
Awesome.
this little channel. So after all this time, we finally accomplished something. I missed your show today, Art, because I couldn't bear to listen to that crap and I don't want to talk about it either.
Okay.
And I don't want to listen
No
to any
problem.
of it.
I know how you feel. It's like,
I have adopted. Ray Kelly's in the house. I will tell you that I
Yeah,
have
Ray
adopted.
Kelly.
I have adopted. I have to for my own. I got to leave the drama, all this behind. Whatever's going to happen will happen. Country will survive one way or the other. If you want to know what I think is going to happen, and I've been wrong before, but my honest opinion is this is what I think is, and Carlos is saying no, but I'm going to tell you my opinion, Carlos. You're going to hear
Okay.
my opinion. In fact, Carlos, I'm going to bring you in so you can definitely hear my opinion.
Good evening.
My opinion is that, and like I say, I got a 50% chance of being right and a 50% chance of being wrong,
Yep.
just like everybody else. I think that the Supreme Court is going to decide this election in the long run.
Yeah.
I think the noise and screaming and drama, both leading up to that and after it happens, is going to go on for the next 4 years anyway. So no matter what happens, I think we're in for more of the same fake news and nonsense and screaming and drama that we've had for the last 4 years, and I think that's what's going to cause the harm, if any harm is caused to this country, more than what these politicians can do. I think the
Hello,
actual
Rigor Mortis. Did I hear you say you returned your Mavic Mini?
my
Two.
mini, yeah. So that's enough.
You
That's all
know
I'm
it.
going to say about that, and then
Good.
we're going to basically. I'm not watching any news. I don't watch
Me
any
either.
YouTube videos about it. I'm just going to wait. Whatever happens will happen. And you want to know something?
You're good
Whatever
with that.
happens isn't going to make my life, my personal life, any better or worse. To tell you the truth.
Republicans flipped a lot of state legislatures.
Let's not
Yeah,
talk about. Oh, stop it!
Yeah,
I want to hear.
That's why
I told you you were going to
That's
return
why.
your
Yeah,
Mavic Mini.
I'm with you.
So let me
I'm
say
with you.
I told you
I just
so.
wanted to. I
And I
just
say
wanted to
hello to
say
everybody
my.
in
I
the
just
chat real quick. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mitch. Go
shut
ahead.
up 1 second, Carlos. Let me finish. Can I finish? Can I finish? I just wanted to say that and get it out of the way. So
Okay.
that,
All right.
but I'm going to fly my
That's it.
drones if the wind ever stops. See, that's the real problem we have here in Florida. It's been almost 2 weeks since we've had a really nice day, and now we got this storm wandering all over the place down here, which is going to keep tomorrow. The winds, the thing says like 25 miles an hour with gusts to 40.
Yeah, it's
And
been
that
windy
storm
here too.
is wandering all over the place in the Gulf and away from Florida and towards. Meanwhile, all day today it's been 20 to 30 mile an hour solid winds. The one day we could fly was the day that I got the Mavic Mini. I got it on Thursday. I made that video about it, and I actually took it out and flew it on Friday. And we'll look at some of the footage from that and talk about it after Carlos says hello to everybody.
I'm done. I said hello. I'm saying it here.
Oh, you're chatting. Okay. So
I just actually I wanted to cut you off because you're talking about politics. To be honest with you, but anyway.
no, I didn't.
Good
want to
evening,
spend a
everyone.
lot
That
of
was
time on
Drunk
it.
Bull Dan.
I didn't want to
Hello,
spend a lot
everybody.
of time on it.
You
but,
Chaser,
That's,
Baylock, Rick Halber. Hello, everybody. I don't want to type.
I did
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame
upload
you.
my Bugs 20 video.
I saw something
got
about that.
Yep.
Yeah, you did it just before Mel, right when Mel's. I got
Yep.
the two notifications at the same time.
Yeah.
Your premiere and Mel's show, and I didn't get to watch the first 15 minutes of either of them, so I haven't seen your video yet. But I will look
Awesome.
at your bugs review. So Carlos, yes, I did take the mini back.
Okay, but I don't know why. Just I'm not going to guess. Tell me why. It was
A
boring, right?
couple of reasons.
Other than non-stimulating. Come on, Mitch. I couldn't believe you bought it. And you really had to be. I'm not
No.
trying to be a funny guy, but you had to be upset with this whole election thing that you actually
Well,
bought
I
it.
told you in my I told you in my deal that was part of it. That
It
I
had to
was
be. Yep.
that I just needed something to get my mind off of this
Mhm.
crap and something to do. So I bought it and I did an unboxing and I made my video
Gap any trees?
about it, and
Okay.
and I took it out to the park and it was blowing about 15 miles an hour this day, and the thing flew pretty nice. I want to show you. Yeah, here I want to show you. Here you can see. I hadn't figured out yet that you could hold the function button down and move the wheel and it would zoom in and out. I just hit the ×2 button on the screen and you'll see it popped into times. So that zoomed in 2 times, and it's in 4K. And looking at it on my monitor here, it's sharp. It looks as good as the footage from the Mavic Zoom, because it's got pretty much the same sensor as the Zoom. But here I was flying it way over at the other side of the park. The feed to the it felt like I was flying one of the Mavic 2s. If you had handed me the controller and basically said, "Here, fly this and tell me what you think," and I hadn't seen what drone it was, I would think it would be a Mavic Air 2 or a Mavic 2 or something. It was solid. There was a couple of little things with the gimbal. It needed to be calibrated, because when you had it pointed in certain directions, it was a little cockeyed. So Ed, you heard he said he was flying it, but really he was operating it.
That's an inside joke between him and I. That's all that is.
I know. And Paulie actually thanked me for the help today. Did you get that thing flying?
We did get it flying.
Do you
we didn't get our SSI values. We have OSD through Tramp. He got it up to 400 or 500 como se dice, VTX milliwatts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got it flying. I crashed it once or twice. So did he.
What size propellers?
3 inch.
3 inch. Okay, so it's pretty much
Basically
the same
like
size.
yours. It looked
Like
almost
that.
identical.
Now,
to be
did it
honest
take a
with you.
4S battery?
We put 3S on it, but it does take 4S.
But yeah,
no.
so it's about this
The
size.
whoops are not the other sector. What was the other thing that you built recently? The other one.
Yeah, that's the Sector 132.
It's more
That's
like
this one.
It's more like that. It's a
Yeah,
dead
but
cat
this has
body.
got 2.5 inch. It's got 2.5 inch props on.
That's
it.
what Ed got. The Cine Pro is that size. The one he has is just a half
okay.
inch bigger.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
looking up Paul, you wouldn't know anything. No, never mind.
So, what do you think about the way it flew?
No, it's good.
I don't know if it was wobbly. I didn't know if I had enough space. I didn't want to make him sweat watching me fly like over McDonald's when it's not part of his property. He lives behind the McDonald's or next to McDonald's, and I was flying from his house all the way to McDonald's and back. Just stuff that he doesn't normally do. So I didn't want to make him nervous. It was okay. It was all right. It's smooth. I will say that. It is smooth. Nice
Good,
picture.
Good. Put a 4S on it. You'll probably like it better.
Yeah, we'll try that. I have some.
Because
4S.
I fly this little thing with a 4S 850, and it does pretty good.
Paul loved
So how
it.
you doing there, Mike B, the Drone Ranger? How you doing, sir?
Yeah,
Hey,
cool.
watch this, Carlos.
Oh, you did cut the trees. Nice.
Carefully.
Did it stop you, or
But
you
I said,
stopped
okay,
it?
this. No, I stopped it a little bit
Okay.
just to make sure I was low enough, because these things you got to pull the stick back. It's not like an FPV where you can just push the nose down and dive if you need to.
Did you try any sport mode
Yeah.
up in the air at all? Anything like that? No.
I did, but I did,
Okay.
and I wasn't recording it, and that's when I found out that if you're going real fast and you turn real hard, the gimbal goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw that I wasn't the only one that had that problem, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to take it back.
Well, the Spark did that. So actually,
it?
the Mavic. Air
Okay.
did that. Yeah, they all did that. The Mavic Air is a 3-axis. The Spark isn't.
Well, this is a 3-axis too, but I never had that problem with my Mavic 2s. I never had the problem with my Mavic 2s.
Did you ever sport mode and turn it?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ed.
But I never had the gimbal go crazy. At any rate, I saw that. Hi, Ed. How you doing, buddy?
Okay. I'm
This
glad you
is the
returned it,
Motley-
because it would have just collected dust.
This is the motley crew that comes out to the park to fly their little foam airplanes in the morning.
That's cool.
And there I am, right over the top of my head. That's me standing there flying this thing, and I just had it down low. And I'll tell you what, you could hardly even hear it. There are times when this would be a useful little thing if you did an awful lot of drone photography. I don't do a lot of drone photography, so
Right.
I bought it, and with the Flymore kit and tax, it was $642. That's a lot of money
Yeah.
for a tiny little drone. Although it's a nice drone, $642. And you know what happens? You want to get it, you get it, and then after 24 hours, you start to say, "Do I really need this thing?"
I told you 7 batteries. You don't even have that many. Would you get 2 batteries in there? Did you go through 2 whole batteries, Mitch? Not even.
Well, yeah, 2 batteries. I did. I did fly. Well, I only flew it on one day. I took it back yesterday. I took it back Saturday, and they wanted to charge me the restocking fee of 15% at Best Buy, and I said to the girl, evidently I found out that if it's broken, they won't charge you the restocking fee.
He pulled out his Karen card.
Yeah, I basically played on her compassion enough where she redid the return and didn't charge me any restocking fee.
There you go.
So I got $35 if you're lucky, Mike. 15%. It would have cost me $90 if I had to pay the restocking fee. Which I learned something. See, Best Buy. I used to think that Best Buy was. Let me show you some more. I used to think that Best Buy would just give you a refund, but on certain items, if you read all the fine print, they do have the restocking fee. So from here on out, if I ever have to buy anything like this, I'm going to buy it from Amazon and wait a day or two, because with Amazon, you get returns and there's no questions. You know, there's just no questions. You just.
And Mitch, if you ever need like a second opinion, you could always, get in touch with me and I'll talk you out of any GPS drone you ever want to buy in the future.
No, I still I still fly these.
I know, but to buy a new one, I can't see you. You have no need.
What I really thought I was going to use this for was to get some B-roll shots while I was flying FPV. To stick the drone up in the air and have it photographing me flying the quad, and every once in a while the quad will go by that, and then I could cut a few seconds of that interspersed in with the FPV flying video to make it a little more interesting, other than just a picture of a flight.
Actually, you just reminded me. I did that with Drone Bum just the other day. I was flying around his Mavic Air 2. I don't know if I could find it, and he took some nice shots actually of the.
And that makes for a
came out nice.
A little more interesting video when you cut it up like that. Rigor Mortis is here. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Rigor Mortis thinks you need a beast class.
He thinks I need a what?
A 10-inch, a beast class. They call that beast class, like a 10-inch drone.
Yeah. Oh, the beast class are the beast class are like
30 even bigger?
30-inch legs. Oh, they're huge. Yeah, some of those things have 14-inch props on them.
There's some nice fish down there.
And what are we doing? We're going small. The trend seems to be smaller and smaller and smaller rather than bigger. I got this hunking thing here, that this monster thing, this 7-inch, which is as big as I really plan to build a quad. I tend to fly the smaller ones more often.
I actually like the
Drone Bum Polly managed to scar Carlos up today.
He crashed. He crashed that new thing into my freaking arm.
Wait, hang on, hold it up there. Let's take a look at that.
I mean, it's nothing, but it's a scrape. I mean, it counts. My lawyer is going to contact tomorrow.
Yeah. Give the screen a little kiss. There you
go. You can't touch
Here I am flying over. Here I am with that little mini thing flying over this housing.
Mitch, I sent you a picture that Paul took with his drone. I hope you don't mind.
On my cell phone? On my cell phone?
On your cell, yes, sir.
Is that what you just did?
Yeah. I'll send you the other one when I find it.
Drone bite.
But didn't that come out nice? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't post it. Oh, I see. I see the sun and I see the drone flying by up in the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was way up there. This is the other one I'll show you.
Be hard for me to show it on the screen.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you would change that to your computer, but I thought that came out really good.
But this was some shots from that flight, and it did a pretty nice job. Let's see, what's this one here?
Yep.
Oh, this was when I think when I actually landed it. Yeah, this was
go chase them.
Second one's even better, Mitch.
There you go. That was a little.
That's nice, actually. That's a nice shot.
Sunset action. you can see the cars going by on the highway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Palm trees are blowing away.
I'm missing the chat. Ed, are you watching the chat? Sorry.
Well, yeah, sorta.
Okay.
I don't know. It did okay, But I agree with you, Carlos. I got to
Right,
thinking
rigor
how
mortis.
much it costs, and I already got 2 Mavic drones. I have a Zoom
yeah.
and a Pro, and I keep.
It was an
thinking about
emotional
selling
buy.
them.
It was definitely an emotional
Yeah,
buy.
there's no doubt about it. No
See,
doubt
here's
about
the
it.
thing. Here's the thing with it though, because Indigo got him one, and to me, I love the package because everything is in that little compact package, and so literally, you have no excuse to not take it with you everywhere you go.
Assuming you go anywhere. But what is that? That's really
Well,
no bearing. That's like a cell phone. I can do the same thing with a cell phone.
Yeah, but you
Other
can't
than it
fly
doesn't go
yourself
250
unless you-
feet in the air. I understand that. But all I'm saying is it's overrated. I don't know. Go to the tall building and get a shot. Something like that. I mean, for me and knowing Mitch and what all the drones that he has, and I didn't think it was going to last personally.
Here,
Anyway.
Ed. See this? This is not much bigger than the Mavic Mini package case. Okay, not much bigger. And this is the Mavic 2 Zoom. So,
You know what's funny? When Paul shows up, he shows up with a rolling suitcase to fly a little
Yeah.
drone this big.
see, in here you got the Mavic 2 Zoom, which is twice the size of that tiny little thing.
Yeah.
The controller right here, a couple of batteries down. I can carry 4 batteries in this thing. The cell phone just put in the side pouch. I got filters, I got everything, and it's a little heavier than the Mini, but if I could carry the Mini, I could carry this just as easy.
Okay, I see your point.
Because I'm going to throw it in my car anyway. And I think I'm going to start since I got
right.
this thing.
Boy.
When you
I
think
mean,
about
I guess
your
for
quad
me-
bag, Ed, when you think
Do
about
I
the
now?
size of your quad, when you think about the size of your quad bag that you put in your truck to fly the Tinyhawk, it's like ridiculous, right? The size.
Oh, I got
All
when
the
I go
stuff
out,
you
I
have to
got a
bring.
suitcase.
Yeah.
I got a suitcase with the goggles and the
Yeah, well,
transmitter. I got a big bag with all my tools and then I always take my GoPro and all those accessories with me, the mics and a tripod for. It'd be much easier if we weren't dealing with YouTube. You know what
Well,
I
I
mean?
mean, the thing with my knapsack backpack thingy I have, what takes up the most room is the goggles and the radio.
Yeah. Yes, it does. And then you got to carry the quads. But that Mavic, this is the case that came with the Flymore kit for the Mavic 2. So you can put the Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom in here. They're both exactly the same size. drone.
Ken, actually, there's a way to access Beta Flight without having to bring a laptop, by the way. Hi, Rick Halber.
Who said that?
Ken Hoffbauer was talking
Yeah,
about a
you
laptop.
You can use your cell phone and put the Speedy Bee app on your cell phone. All you'll need is a cable that has the appropriate USB, micro
Right.
USB or USB-C on whatever side
Yep.
to connect the
Yep.
drone to the the Speedy Bee app, and it can do everything with it.
Yep.
I don't have to tune much often in the field, but occasionally I've used it.
Now, I will
We
say
actually,
this. The backpack I have has a place for a laptop, and it fits in there very nicely. Thank you.
The problem is the next thing you're carrying 50, 75 pounds of crap out there to go
Well,
fly.
this is
Ghost drones.
just my battery bag weighs 15 pounds. Just for the lipos I bring. All right, maybe not 15, but it's
No,
got
I
weight
would-
to it.
would hope not.
Wait a
Okay, so
minute.
the third, speaking of batteries, that's the Another
DOJ
one
is
of-
here, drone obsessed, and coast to coast.
oh, hey, Jerry, how
Hey,
you
Jerry.
doing? And Bill, Coast to Coast Drones, good to see you guys. Thanks for Let's start popping
Paulie.
in.
Why
The
is it
third re-
Christmas?
They're just being silly. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming up on it.
Although I'm
Any-
starting to see the whiskey commercials, the cologne perfume commercials, and other commercials related to Christmas already.
Well, it's already the 8th of November. That means that 5-6 weeks is Christmas.
Black Friday is early.
Black Friday. And that's another thing I thought about the Mini. Okay, there's a couple more things I want to say about this Mini since it really is a super little drone, and I think after a couple of firmware updates, a lot of these initial things will get solved, but that's typical of DJI. Whenever they put out something, I discovered
You did?
that I didn't need the Fly More kit, Carlos, because I don't fly more. I mean, if I took that out,
What do you get
chance-
out of one battery? How much time, Mitch?
you
Sorry.
get 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's enough.
And I figured that the kind of way I would use it as a supplement to other things, not that I'm making any huge number of videos these days, but would be just as a fill camera or some B-roll stuff. And one battery would do it. Plus, you can actually charge the battery in the little drone from a brick, from a power brick.
Right?
So and you could probably throw it, if you ran the battery down, you needed to fly a little more, you could probably throw it on there for 45 minutes and get enough of a charge back in it. So I didn't need the brick. I didn't need 3 extra sets of props, and I didn't like the case it came with. I didn't like that case at all. I'm watching Art making his faces here.
A quick
Hey,
hello
Adrian.
to Adrian Mateo. Yeah,
Hey, yo, Adrian. How
Hey,
you
yo,
doing, buddy?
Adrian.
Okay. So
you
here's
really let
what- here's-
anybody in the stream, don't you?
Ah, yeah, I
Anyway,
know.
go ahead.
Here's what I figured, guys. What I figured was this.
Would
What'd you figure, Mitch? Well, I'll tell you what I figured. What I figured was for $641, that's a lot of money considering
Yes.
I really wanted to buy just the $449 drone, but they didn't have it in stock anywhere. And I wanted to get it now. So I bought the Flymore kit that Best Buy had. I'm going to wait until Black Friday and think about it. But if they sell the little mini quad by itself without the Flymore kit, it comes with the controller, it comes with a battery, it comes with a set of spare parts, it comes with everything except 2 extra batteries and the battery charging pack, which I don't need. If they knock $100 off, like sometimes they do, when they do these Black Friday deals and they sell for like $349, and I can get it for $3.50 with no tax, I'd buy it just for the novelty of having it to use once in a while. As
Good
another
luck with
little
that.
kit. But that's what you pay for one of these little a GoPro, or it's less than you pay for a GoPro, or one of these Insta 360 deals. So anytime something's between $300 and $400, it's not a bad deal to have in your photography
Right.
arsenal.
Wow,
kit.
36 miles per hour, Jaybird. That's not bad.
I got a 20% discount for the Flymore, Mike said. Where'd you get that? You must have won it somewhere. Because they weren't giving those out. Anyway, I'd like to see what happens I want to see what happens. I want to see if they have fixed the few little problems it has, and I want to see if they don't have a deal on them on Black Friday. Now, one of the main reasons I gave it back was I was wrong about the batteries. I had it exactly backwards. I thought that the original Mini had a lithium polymer battery, and I thought that the Mavic, the 2, had a lithium ion.
That's where I got that misinformation from. It
You
was
did.
you.
You get it from
Yeah.
me. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Well,
John Coopy corrected me on that, by
yeah,
the way.
everybody. You know how many people corrected me already? Everybody. But I could have sworn that I had read somewhere, never having owned a Mavic Mini, so I didn't know anything about it. I never even saw one. I thought that, and they were claiming increased flight time. So I figured, well, they must have gone to lithium-ion battery. Turns out that what they did was they had to cut weight out of it somehow. See, because the newer motors, the little bigger motors and everything, created a problem where they made it too heavy. Lithium polymer cells are lighter than lithium ion cells. So they went to lipos. And with lipos, you have all the maintenance involved. You got to have it self-discharge itself. They can swell up. You can't leave them, in the heat as much. And one of the selling points on this thing for me was the fact that I thought it had lithium-ion batteries, which made it
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I thought it was a big deal. Made it less to worry about. Turns out that it had lipos in it, and that kind of soured me on it too.
Yeah.
Steve Mack joined you, by the way.
Hey, Steve Mack,
Hey,
how
Steve.
you doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
Ed, you're living life on the edge today. You interrupted Mitch twice.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out with the chat, you prick.
You guys are doing great because
I got your back, buddy. I just watch
tell
out.
you
He's
what,
on
I
top
got
of
you.
you.
I already bought all your Christmas presents for you, and they'll all be in the mail. What I got you was internet controlled shock collars. See that you guys can wear when you're on my show, and I on my keyboard I can hit a control control E for Ed and.
Now I will
see that
say
face.
this.
You see Art. That's what's going to happen to Art most of the time.
Good idea.
I actually try and wait for what I think is a pause before I speak. However, because of the delay, I time
I'm
it
with
wrong.
you, buddy. I'm with you. Hello,
Good
Adrian
deal.
Mateo.
Hey, you know what?
Have-
It's working, Art. It is working. When I turned
Have you
off,
guys noticed on TikTok, the Tourette syndrome people on there, they put the tick on TikTok?
I was hoping there was a joke behind that because I didn't think you were a TikTok user. Maybe you are. I don't know.
what
Yeah,
I was
that's
saying
true.
before Art so crudely interrupted me with that joke. We love you, Art.
Despite
I
yourself.
did for you guys who use StreamYards on your stream. I don't hear any of that cackling, clicky sound anymore. Ever since I turned off the automatic gain control checkbox that's in there, and I think that's what was causing all of that terrible stuff that not only me but other people I've been hearing on a lot of other people's streams too, and I don't hear any of it now. I did earlier. And Art said he heard it in
I
the
did
music,
too.
but now it
You
seems to be
don't
pretty
hear
good.
it on my shows.
So turn off that checkbox in the settings that says. Here, let me see if I can show it to you. See if you can
Okay.
see it here. Go to here.
Echo cancellation I have checked.
Yeah, but I turned them all off. If I go to settings here, and up here to audio, there's echo cancellation, stereo audio, and automatically adjust mic volume. I turned that off. It says mic volume is beta. I'm not fooling with that. So I turned them all off, and it seems to be, as long as everybody's mic is set at pretty much the same level, and and nobody's got the thing playing in the background creating echoes. Sounds to me like the cleanest audio I've had in quite a while. So
Check.
uncheck them all. Try that. Always something, but that's good for now. But next week it won't work again because they'll change something else. So Carlos, you got some video from your flight with your new little. Whose is it? Is it yours or Paulie's that we were looking up today?
That was Paul's new toy. Although it's tempting to get, but I wasn't crazy about I might have to fly it once or twice in some space.
You
I
know
wasn't
why it flew
that
that
crazy
way
about
for you? It flew that way for you, Carlos, because you weren't going forward.
Maybe. It just felt wobbly. I hear an echo, just for the record.
Yeah, it's
And
you.
I'm not sure. Is it? Hold on. I think it's Ed. Ed, mute yourself.
Well, I changed my.
Is
button.
that my echo?
All right, you got to stop doing that though. So we're trying to figure out.
Ed, you're muted. You are muted, and I don't hear the echo. It's you.
Okay, guys.
So anyway,
so anybody-
it was Drone Bum's Cinequeen, and he's fell in
A
love with it. I brought
Cinequeen.
him 6 3S batteries, XT30. He got himself a charger and some other batteries, so he'll be happy. He's going to be flying for a while.
Cool.
Cool.
He's a happy bum. He was very excited, like
So-
you know the kid with Christmas. That was him. It's not built for acro.
None of these things, they say they're not built for macro, but you
They
can fly them,
do
do
it.
anything you want.
I-
They're-
Paulie, I saw what's his name over in the UK. What Andy RC, and he was doing all kinds of acro with that Cinequeen.
Oh,
it gives him an excuse to not do it.
Stop you
That's
from
all.
doing that.
It's just this way he doesn't have to do it because he's going to tell you it wasn't made for it. Anyway, no, he just needs to fly and have fun. That's all he's about, and he's having a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm ready to come up to New York to fly with you guys because you certainly can't fly here, Carlos.
Why? What happened? You mean me
Weather
personally?
sucks.
Oh, it has been. You know, I'm kind of glad I didn't spend a week over there because I'd be upset.
No, you guys got the weather we got here is for, all the way up until next weekend is going to be unflyable.
The last 3 days.
Rain and wind and we're on the northeast quadrant, which is the dirty side of this thing that's roaming around southwest of us, and all those bands just keep coming in off the ocean, and
And it's been rough here
terrible.
too, man. We've had an offshore breeze
Yeah.
for the last week, and what's weird is there's times when it looks beautiful, and then 5 minutes later, all of a sudden you see all the trees whipping and stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
awesome weather.
Yeah, and I'm a great deal closer to it. We're right on the northeast edge of most of the real rain. When you get up to where you are, it's still pretty far away. Carlos, what you got for
So
us? here?
I'm trying to fly next to Paul's. I think he has the Mavic Air too. Occasionally you'll get it in shot, but there's once or twice where I just come really close. You see it there on the right a little bit?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm coming around. Hold on. There it is below me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I see.
There it is. But there's one time where I get really close, like right underneath it, and you see
Oh,
me
that's
getting
cool.
pushed down. But wait, look, kind of up there. I don't know, maybe 65, 70 feet. We were trying to also
Is that your
the Mavic Tinyhawk.
tiny
Two.
hawk? Okay.
Look right there.
Oh, cool.
But I wanted to show you now that you just reminded me. I did get static in the beginning, and then once we separated, it was okay. But I think it's drone related, not controller related, because we were standing next to each other at one point, and it wasn't too bad.
Well,
That's the one. You see how
the
close I
drone-
just got?
Oh, cool
Oh,
shot.
man.
I like that. Yeah.
I got to do it
Yeah.
one more time.
And
if you don't
Paulie, you know,
mind.
he doesn't care if you hit him. He doesn't care if you
No,
hit him
not
in
at
the
all.
face. Just don't take his drone out of the sky.
That was close right there. That was a cool shot.
That was good. That was cool.
That was it. Thank you for letting me share. But let me
Oh,
see if I
that's
find the
all
one
right.
with the static. While you
We
guys,
don't seem to be talking about too many technical beta flight
120
quad type
feet.
things
Okay.
tonight. So
Well, you know, Drone Bum doesn't have RSSI on his OSD. Is there a way to get it?
well, let me ask you: when you did you hook it to beta flight,
Yes, sir.
and did you go to the receiver tab?
Did I go to the receiver tab? Yes. And that
Did
that
you see
whole
one-
12 going 12 or 12, right? The line 12 was
It was
wacky.
it was bouncing around.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you need to do is in the upper right hand corner
Of that
of the
same.
receiver tab is
Okay.
a box that says RSSI channel.
Okay, real quick. Drone Bum, pay attention at 51 minutes
Yeah.
of this live
Yeah,
stream.
write it down. Get-
Okay,
get
go
your
ahead.
notepad
I'm sorry,
out.
Mitch.
Here,
Go ahead.
I will show you because that's what we do here. Let me take my
Yeah.
take my
Oh,
little
okay. I wanted him to
screw
get in here,
everything
but
up
he's tired.
by
And,
tilting the camera down and plugging it in to the computer. This is such a pain to get to this.
yeah, that one you gotta lean the camera
And
forward.
let's open up Beta Flight here.
You gotta mute yourself.
Okay.
Right.
Open up Beta Flight and
Not that.
we will connect.
So that has a FR Sky receiver in it then, that bird you're
Yes.
doing?
Oh, yeah, his
Yeah,
too.
but this
That
has
one's
got
the
this is this
Hey,
so let's
Mike,
connect.
Mike,
I can't remember.
GFO drones.
Okay,
can't-
now this has only got a D8 receiver in it, but
Right.
that's okay because this is what I want to show you. One of these channels will be bouncing around down here, right?
Correct.
And up here, right here where I'm circling, see it?
Got it.
Says RSSI channel, and whichever if let's say it's AUX 12,
You gotta match
you
it.
go over here and go down and pick AUX 12.
Nice.
This
All
only
right, that's pretty
only
easy.
This 8 channel, and then click AUX 12, and then that'll send the RSSI
And
to
rec-
the
and then
OSD
save.
when you put the element in there. Yeah, and then just hit save. So
Ed, you
that's
just
all-
learned
that's where
something
you
too,
find it.
right, Ed? Because that's the same
Yes,
deal
I
with me.
did. It makes me want to fire up the Center Queen Pro right now.
Yeah,
but
that's
it
where you
doesn't
that's
fly.
where you that's where you get that.
Actually, I
Uh-oh.
took the props off today
Mhm.
and I played with the wires and the motor is okay. I just got damaged wires, so I got to fix my
Oh,
wires.
good. All right, Mitch, I'm going to show you what I was experiencing when Drone Bum first took off with the drone. That was what was it? You saw that in the beginning,
It
real
looked like it was-
quick.
I thought it was just snowing.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, his Mavic is definitely interfering with your video feed.
But it did. It was only when it was like close, and then once it took off, it was. Let me see if it goes a little quicker here. This is taking too long. A little faster.
Well,
See?
with
see that?
with the Ocu, yeah,
Look.
I see that. But keep in mind with the OcuSync system,
That was bad. That was
Carlos,
like that's
with-
my. Go ahead. That's my bird next to him, by the way.
with OcuSync, you have two-way transmission. So you have the drone is both receiving and transmitting, and the transmitter is both receiving and transmitting.
Right.
So you can get interference from either the drone or the transmitter.
this
Chances
one-
are you got the interference from the drone because when the
Yes.
drone got further away, the interference went away.
But here's the other thing I'm going to say is that at one point, Drone Bum and I were kind of next to each other, and I wasn't having it the same. Or it wasn't affecting it the same, I should say. Then I went to chase him. I don't
But
think
when
I
you were
found-
both in the air, did you ever have any static?
No,
while
no.
you were way
Remember
up
you
at-
saw those?
Okay, yeah.
No, I didn't have that. It was. That's why I'm saying. I think
it had to do with one of his either his transmitter or his drone being close to your goggles is what was causing all that noise.
No, it was close. Remember, I was further away than the Tinyhawk. The Tinyhawk was close to the drone, and I stepped away. That's what I was trying to figure out. Was it the goggles or the Tinyhawk?
Right.
You're seeing Tinyhawk transmission to my goggles. That's what the snow was. And then once he went away and passed, it disappeared. No?
So what's the moral of that story?
Don't fly the Tinyhawk
I'm
near
trying to
the
figure
DJI
that out.
drone.
Don't stand right next to each other when you're
No,
flying.
don't.
Don't
The two
stand so
drones.
close
I don't know. It's hard to say because it
You can
wasn't-
fly two drones together. If
Yeah,
you,
no, we
if
did it
You guys,
eventually.
if you guys stay and look, the DJI FPV goggles use
Mhm.
OcuSync. They use the same video transmission system as the Mavics do. So they found that if two pilots, one analog and one digital, stand too close to each other, you'll get interference. But if you get 15, 20 feet away from each other, the interference goes away.
Right.
Same thing probably holds true for an analog pilot and a Mavic pilot. Stay 15 feet away from each other and you'll probably be okay.
No, I mean, we
That's
did it
right,
afterwards.
Paul,
There was no
the
problem.
police.
Mavic
Mike
2 will
Night
blow
Train
FPV
says the
guys.
Mavic 2 will blow FPV guys out of the sky. Yeah, it's probably all over the place as far as frequency goes.
on channels.
Just checking over the chat here. So, Art, have you been doing any flying?
Just the Buds 20. And I've been working I worked overtime yesterday, so didn't have much time to fly yesterday.
How did that shoot go for your friend?
Well, I mean, it was dark. I couldn't get enough light, so
In other
hopefully
words,
they
it's
got
not.
some they were able to pull some footage out of it. So
You said you were shooting a
picked the
music
time of
video?
day? Yeah.
yeah, a music video out in an alley at the north end of Denver where there's murals on the alley wall, and we ended up turning his car around. We used the headlights, got a little bit of light out of that. I just couldn't figure out how to set the ISO and the aperture on the Air 2. So
You didn't
I'm
go on a
going
YouTube
through
video
I'm
to
like,
check
oh,
it out?
Huh?
Check it out on a YouTube video. That's where I learn everything.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
There's a, from my brief one-day use of the Fly app, I had it for a day. Over by the camera button,
Right?
the red circle,
Yep.
there's above it. I think looks like a little tiny film strip or something. You click that, all your
Right.
camera settings box
Uh-huh.
opens up, and you get to all the settings from there.
Yeah, you could choose HDR, 4K, 2.7, 1080p, and
But you don't have
Wasn't
aperture. You don't have.
slide brightness,
You don't.
something like that?
I mean,
where
I
you can
did get
slide
a
it?
histogram out of it, but I couldn't figure out how to adjust the the settings for the camera.
Okay, well, you don't have aperture on a Mavic Air 2.
Right.
You have
ISO.
exposure value, EV,
Right.
and that's what you would use. And I told you down at the bottom, on the bottom right of the screen, it says EV, and
Oh
it'll say
yes, I did see that.
0.0. When you touch that, a little sliding scale will open up, and you can slide it up and down and lighten and darken the
okay.
picture. And I
All
did when you saw that picture with the sun
Right.
set.
Right.
That's how I got it. That's how I got it dark. Was
I see.
Drone Bum said, bottom right, first take it out of auto, Artco.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
well, even in auto, the exposure value will still darken it up.
Did you see what Drone Days wrote? We have a lot of comedians in the YouTube
Yeah.
family here.
Some YouTube channels, just not this one, huh? Hey, Mike,
And-
GFO drone and tech guy, how you doing, buddy? Only problem is it should be ISO, aperture, and white balance, but you don't.
Right.
I don't believe.
I remember the Mavic Air had this thing where you
No,
slide in it.
you have shutter speed. You have shutter speed,
Right.
ISO, shutter speed, and white balance. You don't have an aperture till you get to the Mavic 2
Yeah.
Pro or the Phantom 4. That little Mavic Mini, however, was a fixed focus, kind of like the Osmo Pocket.
Mm.
So that's one thing you didn't have to worry about, was always making sure with you do with the Mavic 2s, you have to
Right.
make sure you're in focus. I've shot half a flight once out of focus with that thing. It looked close. It looked like it was in focus, but in reality, it was just a little off.
Mm.
I have to
This-
unlock it and be in manual.
Which
not
one were you
available.
flying, Art? The Mavic Air 2
Air
for the
2.
video thing?
Yep.
How long have you had this?
That-
A month?
Yeah, 2 or 3 months.
Wow. Okay.
That's another. I've never even seen one of those. Art.
I mean, it looks, it looks like a cross between a Mavic Air and a Mavic
Yeah.
Pro. Yeah.
I can't say that I'm enamored by their naming conventions on these things.
Yeah.
You have a Mavic Pro, you have a Mavic 2 Zoom, a Mavic 2 Pro, a Mavic Air 2, a Mavic Mini, and then they finally took the Mavic name out of it. Now it's a DJI Mini 2. It's not a Mavic anymore. So
Well, you gotta remember it's China. In China, there's a lot of loss in translation there.
So you don't think they have any Americans working for them? No,
Probably not.
just a wild
Well,
guess.
except for
sure they do.
the initials HB.
They got Brandon Schulman, don't they? The legal guy. He's American.
I find it fascinating, Art, to be honest with you, that you have a 107 license, you have Artco Drone Solution, and you don't know how to use your own Mavic Air 2. There's something
Well,
a little.
That's because
I'm
I
sorry.
fly in the daytime. I'm not. I don't do night flying. But
Oh, it was a matter
one
of
the things
lighting,
I'm
but you
going
didn't know how to
to
use you didn't know how to use the light thing. Come on, Art.
And Art, what is it that you don't like about Carlos? You're on.
He's a Karen.
I could live with that one.
Yeah. Nosy.
I didn't say I
talkative,
didn't like. I'm talking.
interrupting, and
Do you hear all the little groans? Go back and play the replay and listen to the little groans that this guy does when
Ed
he
and I are
talks.
sitting over on this side here,
Kidding
just
me?
watching
yeah,
the two
I'm
you
the
guys
one
go
yeah,
at it.
yeah.
All right.
I don't
I'm
know.
agreeing
There's
with
someone
you. Like,
legitimacy.
Right.
So what else? What other technical problems or questions? There, Jerry's got the answer. He says, "Have you read the manuals?"
I mean, that's why
Jerry's
I got my
certainly not the
information
ones that
from.
come with it. Certainly not the manuals that come with it. The paper manuals. You have to download the stupid thing.
Yeah.
And read the manual.
Oh, try
All
and
in
figure
good
out how
fun. All in
to
good.
fly the Bugs 20. Boy, that was a pain in the butt.
So, without having to watch your entire video, I mean, I'll watch it to give you a view and I'll give you a thumbs up. But save me from watching the whole thing. What's the bottom line on it? This or this?
I give
It
it
was
a
ugly.
3 out of 10.
Really? And how expensive a drone is it? I don't know anything
I
about it.
have no idea. It's probably 150, 200 bucks.
Oh, okay. So it got a gimbal,
I
or,
wouldn't
or
pay more than 100 bucks for it.
does it have a gimbal?
What's it
or is
supposed
stable?
to do?
Well, it's got a gimbaled 4K camera.
Okay.
I mean, it's solidly built, but the problem is the range. It sucks. I mean, you can't fly it more than 80 meters. I mean, you can't get it up to 100 meters. And you
Well, that's
can't
terrible.
get further than 20 meters away, and then it just stops.
Are you sure it's not on some kind of lock that you have to unlock?
Probably that's what it sounds like to me.
Oh,
That
okay,
might be
well,
another manual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying. This is where you're supposed to say that real men don't need instructions. Arizona Drone Dude, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Bugs too, about
I had the
$230.
same thing with my
Wow.
first GPS drone, and I'm like, why can't I get it to go further away from me? It's because it was GPS and it was in beginner mode.
Beginner mode. Oh, I remember that beginner mode. Do any of you guys remember when I got my first Mavic
The
Pro?
Mavic Air. Yeah.
But when I got my first Mavic Pro, not the Mavic 2, the original first Mavic Pro, you had to take a quiz before you could fly the thing.
Oh boy.
Remember that?
And you also have to take it out of beginner mode, I'm almost certain.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
had
beginner
they
mode.
had a beginner mode, which limited you very drastically to a few hundred feet in any direction, which is
Right.
probably
And-
not a bad idea for a beginner.
It's not a bad idea at all unless you get so frustrated with the damn thing because you didn't read the instructions.
Well,
that
I
you're
read
like,
the
what is
instructions. I
wrong
couldn't
with
figure
this
out.
thing?
I mean, there's nothing in it that tells you how to get the damn thing to lift off. I'm like, oh, okay, what do I? So I just did it like
YouTube
through
University.
trial and error, and I finally figured out how to get the props to go and take it off. I'm like, oh, cool, it got to fly.
So let me
Um,
tell you,
It wasn't down and out.
if
no, you
anybody
can't.
else gets a Mavic, excuse me, a DJI Mini 2, and you've never had a Mini or a Mavic Air 2, and you've always had to go into the DJI Assistant when you first get your drone to download the software, you're going to get frustrated. I go to the downloads page to make sure I had the latest version of DJI Assistant, and it was on the Mini 2 downloads page, and I downloaded it. So I put it on my screen, and I could not get it to recognize the little drone. I couldn't get it to recognize the drone at all. You know, you plug the USB thing in, and then it waits a second, and then the USB little graphic plug goes in, and it comes up and tells you what it is. You found your device.
Right?
Wouldn't find it. I said, well, that's great. So then I went into the Fly app, and it wouldn't connect to the little drone. I mean, it took me an hour of screwing around with that thing. I went and I started reading the directions, and it says how to. Oh, I really did. How did my
Hand over
computer
your
just
man
put up
card.
a thing that says your computer's running low on storage. Do you want to delete the previous version of Windows? Yeah, there's something I want to do right in the middle of a live stream. That's my that happens with when you have a 256 gig M2 drive, .2, you know, the little solid state. It's not very big, and it only holds the operating system and some programs, but anything you put on your desktop goes there too. So that's when I'll put a big file on my desktop, I get that warning. So anyway, so what happened was here I am trying to get this thing to work. I couldn't get the I thought I had a bad drone. I couldn't
Bless
get it
you,
to
Ed.
register through the assistant. I couldn't get the thing to connect. Now, on the Fly app, when it says unable to connect to the drone, there was a little question mark. So I hit it, and it took me, and it showed me how to bind the drone to the controller. Now, when you buy these things, they're supposed to come already bound. I have a funny feeling that when I plugged it into the DJI Assistant, it unbound it. So I went ahead and followed those instructions, and it bound the controller to the Mini. Then the next time I opened, it connected to the drone finally, and came up and said, do you want to activate your drone? The only instructions I could find about how to activate this thing, and I scoured the internet, I looked in the manuals, was open the Fly app and follow the instructions. That's it. That's all they tell you. Open the Fly app, follow the instructions. No mention of the DJI Assistant. You know, no mention of anything. So I opened the Fly app, and all it was telling me was it wouldn't connect with the drone because it had lost its bind for some reason. So
That's
they
interesting.
really need to do a much better job, especially if a lot of people, this is going to be the first thing they ever buy.
Mm.
And the older,
Frustrating.
the rest of us who are so used to using the DJI Assistant app, I still don't know if this thing, I didn't even want to try to plug it into the Assistant app. I figure it does all of its upgrades over the air. But you need the Assistant app if you wanted to downgrade the, you know, sometimes you go back to a previous version of the firmware. I don't know if you've ever done that. And then I put the second, it took like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It updated the firmware on the drone. It updated the firmware on the controller. It updated the firmware in the battery. And then when I put the second battery in, I asked, do I want to update the firmware on the battery? So the same thing as the Mavics, the most of their quads is that you have to have being as that it's a LiPo and not a lithium ion, it needs to be an intelligent battery, which just makes, which means it has to have the firmware upgraded too.
Mitch, a quick hello to Mr. at RH who joined us, as well as
Rat
Mr.
RH, how you
Chris
doing,
Hope.
buddy?
Hey, Rat.
Oh, Chris is
Hope in
here.
the
How you
house.
doing, Chris?
And he
Chris,
says
Chris
he's
is the
good.
famous.
He's flying. He's doing his thing. Oh, and he ordered goggles.
Oh, good, good. What kind of goggles was he using?
Chris, put them down so I don't have to go and look. Let me see if I find it. I don't know. Something Core, HDO Core, Fat Shark, something or other. HD3
HDO2s?
Core? Hold on. Okay, it's called HD3 Core. Dominator H3. Fat Shark
the
Dominator
Dominator
HD3 Core.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one, I believe. Yeah. So,
One of these,
yeah,
after all that
uses
talking about the Mavics, Bob
Abominator.
says he's glad he flies FPV. Yeah,
FPV gun.
Fat Sharks, yeah.
yeah. That DJI stuff can become frustrating sometimes, and their instructions a
annoying.
lot of times leave a lot to be desired.
Fat sharks.
So, Chris, have you flown it in acro mode yet?
That's a good question.
And that's the question I wanted to ask you, Mitch, on the right-hand switch. That's the stabilization, and then it's how do I get into acro if I want?
Now, which quad are you talking about?
On my Tinyhawk. That's the only one I
Is
can
your
fly.
Tinyhawk? Yeah, but now your Tinyhawk, is that the one that came with the transmitter?
No, this is a Tinyhawk 2. The one
With the
that
QX7.
you bind with the FR Sky.
QX7.
Oh, okay. So now, which switch do you have set up as the mode switch?
The one you would
Same way
suggest to him.
You had yours set up.
Okay. So basically, what you're
That would be
telling
the
me,
far right hand back side. Yeah.
what you're telling me is
Probably the one over your arm
This-
switch.
this is the arm switch here,
Yeah.
Right.
and then this one in the front is the mode switch. Is that right?
Oh,
Is that the way we set
I
it up?
have it all set up the way you have it set up. Which one of those switches where I could get it out?
Okay.
of
Well, if you got the
stabilization
QX7, you don't have this switch right here.
right. That's
You
correct.
only have one switch here and one switch
Yeah.
here. It's the one on the front, on the left, the top. And it should be
Okay.
set up so that when it's all the way up, it's in stabilized mode,
Right.
all the way this way, and all the way down would be acro mode.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
maybe we have horizon mode in the center. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's
Do you
gonna
see
be up.
the names like Stab, HOR, or Acro when you change?
Yeah, I do see stab and
Just stab?
Well, that'll tell you. That'll tell
Yeah.
you right there in the goggles
All right.
what mode you're in. Yeah.
Yeah, when you
it'll
move it.
say,
Yeah.
It'll say air if you're in acro mode. It'll say air.
Okay.
Right.
It'll say
All right, just
HOR,
to know.
Right.
whore. It'll say whore when you're in the horizon mode, and it'll say stab when
Right.
you're in angle. Yeah.
Just so you know,
So-
Chris Hope did fly it in Acro, and he says it flies great, super
I
fast.
fly it in stab.
You heard me, Mitch, right? As far as Chris Hope flying in Acro?
Yeah, he did, huh?
Okay, yes.
Oh, great. Congratulations, man.
And Drone Day says, Mitch, thanks before for telling us how to change wires on those little white plugs before.
Oh, how to pull out the little connectors. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So Chris is getting some fat sharks. Chris is going to be a big time FPV pilot here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think so.
so.
You're going to get cinematic.
He's
Chris
already talking about going digital.
Probably
As
for
well-
summer.
As well he should. As well he should, because it's a whole new world. Once you fly that digital stuff. You just
Hmm.
Carlos, you never tried it. You'll understand what I mean when you.
You know, the only time I did
When you
digital
try.
was with the Mavic Air and those big white Google's goggles.
Yeah,
but I know it's
Oh,
completely
the
different with
toilet seat,
FPV.
yeah.
that wasn't like flying an FPV
No, I
drone.
know,
That
I
was,
know.
yeah. It
Yep.
was a nice view. I have a pair of those that I never used,
Mhm.
among a lot of the other things that I have that I never use.
Which would have
I
probably
almost
sat right
had-
next to that Mavic Mini.
To the Mini too, that I probably would not use very often either.
I'm telling you, once
But
you
what I
go
need to do
FPV,
is-
it's hard to go backwards.
Yeah, I need to take this thing out with me when I go fly FPV, so I have it. If I had it there, I'd probably, throw it up in the air and just let it hover while I'm
Yeah,
flying.
park it up there.
And point it at something and try to get some B-roll shots with it,
Cool.
or take the FPV drone and,
Do its
fly
few
over
Do some
circles
orbits,
around
yeah.
it, do orbits around it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Well, Mitch,
So,
I gotta
we-
get going. I gotta get ready for
Early
bed.
All right, Art.
Thanks for being a
Hey,
good sport, Art. I like breaking your chops,
Hey,
but
no
don't take
problem,
it personal, please.
Carlos,
Good.
Ed, good to see you.
Keep smiling.
Mitch,
Yeah,
And
we
look-
all need an easy target.
Stop pointing at the people when you. No, I'm only kidding. I like that. I don't know why.
You do that in school. You go to the principal's office. You do anything
Right.
that looks this like this, and you end up getting expelled from school.
You're
That's
in
how
trouble,
stupid this
yeah.
world is.
all right.
Yeah.
Where's the music?
Keep
The
smiling.
music.
But you got to hit the end button too on
No,
the way
that's
out.
not it. Hold on a second. No, that's not it. How about? Meh. No, that's not it. There it is.
All right. Good night,
See ya.
everybody. Bye bye.
Take care.
He
It'd
is
be cool if you could do a little toilet bowl swirl when you did the flush
on the
thing.
way out. If you could do that.
So
yeah,
many
right.
buttons. So many buttons. So little time here.
So then you're stuck just flying in the house then, Mr. Mitch. If anything.
I haven't even been doing much. I haven't been doing much of that. Tell you the truth,
Well, then you're gonna go crazy.
Uh,
No news.
I have been going
No
crazy.
flying?
Considering I'm not watching. I'm
You're
not
not
watching
building
the
anything,
news
are
or
you?
keeping track. No, I really have been watching a
you-
lot of TVs.
Let's rewind for a second. Whatever happened to that helicopter and that was it called Arju pilot? Is that
Yeah,
the
I
right?
still got it here. I just haven't. I haven't
a break?
taken it out. I haven't taken it out to fly it yet.
Oh, but it is ready to fly. I thought it was still in the testing
I-
phase somewhat.
It is, and it's just. I just gotta, gather up my
Brain cells?
my scrotum, and this thing is so big and so powerful.
Oh, I understand. It's
And
intimidating
they
to
crash,
get up
and they
yeah,
crash
yeah.
so spectacularly. That's the one thing about helicopters, man. They're not like quads. They just explode when those rotors hit the ground into a million.
No,
pieces.
I've seen some videos of that. It's pretty ugly.
I mean, even if you just it tilts a little and the tip of the rotor touches the ground, boom.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, it's all it takes. Oh, I've had a couple of spectacular. I used to fly them a lot, and I had a couple of spectacular crashes. Actually, I'm not afraid to fly the helicopter. I'm afraid of what the flight controller might be programmed wrong, because it's something I've never. This particular Arju copter software on a different flight controller, it seems to check out okay, but you get something this big and powerful in the air, and something is wrong. It's going to be a mess. So I'll get to it one of these days.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that Zabo guy?
Oh yeah, Alan Szabo. His father was the. This is Junior that's doing that stuff. His father was the guy that started this whole. Got him started. I think he died, but
A quick hello to Danny Drone Worship before he gets offended. Hi, Danny. Dan,
hey,
rather
Dan,
sorry.
That's nice. He called us gentlemen. How you
I know
doing,
he likes to
buddy?
be called Danny too.
Danny boy.
Oh, Danny boy. I like Drone Worship despite himself.
Eh,
I was. That sounds like that. That sounds like that
Yeah.
thing you just played for art.
Yeah, meh.
Dan
There
is
it is.
such a lovable prick.
Yes.
Meh.
There you go. That's Danny.
Yeah. No, how can you not like? How can you not like Dan?
Well, I could find a number of reasons, but that's why I like
Oh
him.
well, I know. I just wondered. See if your reasons jive with my reasons.
Nah, he's all right. He's all right.
Ah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he means well.
I think so.
Been flying a lot, man. And then the weather's going to go cold again. Trying to find the videos where I was harassing. Apparently, Jay wants a throat punch tonight. Who's Jay? Come on.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about
yeah,
you
you
or
need
Jay
to know
or Jay
that.
Bird.
Nah.
Play nice, kiddies, don't fight. That's what my grandmother used to say all the time. Play nice, kiddies, don't fight.
My father just used to hit us. Whack! Stop fighting. And no talking. You're just not fighting anymore.
I think Mitch would appreciate the footy of you at your mom's house going out the windows.
Oh, that's in another computer. But I could get it in a second.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Well, that'd be cool. We could see that.
I like flying
I think
around
I
drone bomb
may-
and trying to crash into them. That's more fun.
Let's see if I hold on. Let's see if I can find.
I'll try to find that in a second, Ed.
Where is it? Is it here?
No, but what was it, the day before yesterday? We were out from like 9 to 3:30. Holy cow.
That's pretty good marathon there.
But I mean, you could
I'll
not
say.
be out. The weather was perfect. Like, geez. You had to be outside playing. All right, this will make for, you might like this, Mitch. I don't know. I hope it'll play well. This is me, again,
right.
harassing the bum, as usual.
Okay.
With the Tinyhawk only. Only with the Tinyhawk.
Yeah. No, you don't want to fly like with
No, I'm very careful. I make sure I
7
know
inch or
where
5
he is.
inches. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta know where he is.
And
There he
playback's
is,
a little
setting up.
jumpy.
Is it? Maybe I shouldn't play it then. Nah, it's not worth it. I see what's happening. It's not good. Let's see your stuff, Mitch. That's no fun.
I was gonna show the tremendously dramatic my first dramatic takeoff with the Mini 2. I mean, the hair
Ooh.
raising
Whoa.
from the hat cam here. I mean, it was, yeah, it was.
Oh, there you go.
Really, really, really dramatic. And here you go. Here it goes. There it is.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that
was-
amazing?
Amazing 10 feet up. Why so far, though? You don't trust the thing.
I was in the shade. I was standing in the shade,
Gotcha,
so I
gotcha.
could see the little screen. There it goes. Look at that, man. Off into the wild blue yonder, and then it disappears like right away. The thing is so small and
Yep.
so quiet, you can't see it or hear it. It's just gone. Boom. Where the hell is it? I don't know. As long as you can see the picture on the screen, you're okay.
It's like a mosquito.
Did you see Marcus Crawford's little flight over to Snake River Canyon with
No, who's
his
that?
Mini 2?
No. I don't
almost
watch
lost- he
GPS
almost-
drones, actually.
But he almost lost the thing. I normally don't either, but since I had one for a day, I was watching a lot of different videos.
Crazy.
He almost lost it. Right out there, and all of a sudden it started doing weird stuff. Weird stuff. Come on, guys in the chat, play nice, Dan. All of you. I don't know who's starting the fights, but
They're not starting because they're going to
David's-
end. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it crashed.
uh,
Somewhere else, Danny boy.
yeah, it almost crashed, and that scared me a little too. That was a reason number 4, I think, that I decided to return it. Okay, Dan. So Dan, did you get yourself a Mini 2? Jaybird says he got caught in a wind stream in the canyon, but Marcus said when he was flying it during the video, he says, I don't understand this. There's not that much wind, and it appeared. Now I don't know if it was the gimbal that was, because you don't know whether it's the drone or the gimbal. It's weird when all of a sudden you see wild things happening in your picture. But
Combination of both, probably. I don't think Dan would get a mini too.
Yeah.
He's got a little mini one. So anyway.
He would shoot with my gun.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't. There's no reason for it. What does that say? Turbo. Hey guys.
This is one of the things Jaybird is bringing up now. It makes sense. There is place the overall wind cannot be that high, but there can be choke points where the wind gets funneled, and then the wind velocity can be much higher in those spots.
Yeah, now he was up way above the rim of the canyon, but then it sunk down into the canyon below the rim wall. That's when he what's that? What's his name? Turbo Omni. Turbo Omni, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for stopping in. Anybody with experience yet with a TBS tracer? No. That is.
Is that long flying?
That's no. The TBS tracer is the 2.4 gigahertz multi-protocol module designed to plug into the back of their Tango 2 radio, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that something where you combine two radios to one bird, or
yeah, they have that deal where you're supposed to be able to clone the binding. Yeah,
right.
But I wouldn't fool with that. Mike Nitrate is messing with the Ghost. There's so many new modules coming out. I'm still boring. I'm boring basically.
You Kiss.
I've got the Micro TX2.
Oh, Crossfire, that's the one.
Micro TX2 in here, and I use the R9 that I was using on a lot of things before I got this, and so I have the two modules I carry, the R9 and this one, and then I still have a few quads that are on 2.4 gigahertz, but this jumper's got the multi-protocol module, so I don't have one of those little Tango 2s
Crossfire
yet. It's supposed to be long range. I didn't think it was billed as a long range 2.4. I thought it was just being billed as a multi-protocol 2.4. But I haven't looked into it since I have no use for it. Sly Dad, be warned. Sly is
in the house.
Okay, man. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Well, Turbo Omni, obviously you're a drone guy and not a troll, so we will give you some blue pants and make you feel right at home. So there you go.
The lowest latency, welcome, he says.
Welcome to the. Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's supposed to have a 400, 500 hertz refresh rate or frame rate, which makes it an incredibly low latency, which racers, guys who race, might notice the difference, or Mr. Steele might notice the difference. Old guys like me and you, the two of you guys would never probably notice the difference in the latency, in the control latency. At the level of flying that I do, that's for sure. You're right, Turbo. They're billing that as the lowest latency, and latency is a function of frame rate, which is you got to figure that's kind of obvious. If you have if you divide a second into 1,000 milliseconds, and if you've got a frame rate of 500, that means each frame takes 2 milliseconds. You follow me on that, guys?
The biggest problem I have is the latency in my brain, not the radio.
And that's what happens to us old guys but more important, and I agree, Turbo, that more important than the latency for the kind of flying we do is the range, which is why I like the 900 megahertz Crossfire. Although
Turbo Mini, agrees. He likes the range.
Although the new immersion RC Ghost is supposed to get comparable range at a 2.4 gigahertz. They'll never beat the 900 for long range with, like the FPV airplane guys. These guys will fly out 20, 30 miles and have special antennas and all that stuff. But Minnesota Paul, has anyone donated to RDQ's FAA lawsuit fund? No, I haven't donated to anybody yet.
I give them
Paul.
tips when I buy stuff, and I get Jolly Ranchers. They're lucky I do that.
Yeah, I buy a lot of stuff from them, and if they want to sue the FAA, more power to them.
Plus, I give them the tips.
Have you ever heard the expression "pissing into the wind"? These guys, they're either smarter than me, which is possible, or they've never been involved in any kind of lawsuits like this, and I have. And you don't win. All you do is spend money.
Yep.
The lawyers win.
And
the
apparently
lawyers,
other people's money.
Yeah, and he's at least he's smart enough to want to spend other people's money. But the lawsuit, in order to a lawsuit like this is going to get filed. I'm 73. I'm 73 and a half years old now. I will not live long enough to see a resolution in this lawsuit.
Yep.
These kind of lawsuits can go on for 10 to 20 years unless there's a settlement. And in order to get a huge settlement, you have to show huge damages. And these damages generally have to be money damages. Okay? They have to be you have to have suffered a loss. Otherwise, you're dealing with constitutional issues.
Politics.
That involve freedoms being lost. And that, my friend, is a harder road to hoe, and usually would have to end up in the Supreme Court, because you have
to make your own precedents.
Yeah, it could be appealed. So I don't think any of these guys have enough money. When I sued the Hewlett-Packard Corporation in my company, when they basically put me out of business, I had a lawyer on a contingency because he thought I had such a good case, and we sued him for $20 million. And he was convinced that he could win with the evidence, with what they did. They broke their we had a contract, and what they did was they defaulted on the contract and backdoored, went in and took all my government clients away from me. And the lawyer that I had hired is out in West Palm Beach, Florida. I won't mention his name, but he was Al Gore's lawyer in the 2000 election debacle.
Oh God!
I mean, this is how big this guy is. Most of his clients, he runs an international business, and most of his clients are countries. South American countries hire this guy to sue for their interests here. This guy was a big, and he took my case on a contingency, but basically I had to pay the costs. Okay, and that, what costs in a lawsuit are directly attributable costs. The cost of hiring court reporters to take depositions, the cost of postage, printing, all that other thing. The actual money out of pocket, other than just lawyers' time, is costs. This case of mine went on for close to 3 years. We and because Hewlett-Packard is so big, they own everybody. You may as well be suing the government when you sue a company that big. They hired the largest law firm in the world, a law firm with 300 offices all around the world. This is who they hired to defend them. These guys probably played golf with all the judges that were hearing this case. Every motion we had, first thing they did is you file the lawsuit. The first thing they start filing 100 different motions for this, motions for that. Every one of these motions has to be heard. And every time one of these motions is heard, the lawyer's got to go into court, and the client's got to pay, and that costs a lot of money. $350, $400 to $500 an hour for some of these lawyers. And the big guy in the firm billed out at about $1,000 an hour. And if you talked to him on the phone for 10 minutes, that was a half an hour. Okay, so you didn't even, but fortunately, all I was paying was costs. And this thing kept going on, and we kept winning the appeals and losing the original decision. So everything we did, we had, and it was month after month after month. And the costs, my costs in this case were over $35,000. That's just the costs, just the costs. He told me that his legal fee, had he been billing me for this when it was all over, would have been over $5 million. Now, we lost the case, and we lost it in the 11th Circuit federal court. This is a federal court case. We lost it in the 11th Circuit in Atlanta by a crooked 3-judge panel that invented new law because somebody was friends with somebody. And the only place that we had left to go after that was the Supreme Court. And he told me that they couldn't afford to take it. They couldn't spend that kind of money to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court wouldn't hear it anyway because there were no constitutional issues in this case. It was basically a money damages case. So after 3 years, after he spent, I mean, the file was, the paperwork, the number of hearings, the depositions, the interrogatories, the discovery,
how long?
Truckloads of papers.
How long from beginning to end did you take?
Well, it was three years, and and we finally came to a dead end, and that was the end of it. And that was just suing a big one of the, Fortune 500 or a Dow 30 company. Can you imagine what it's like to sue the federal government with the resources that they have? Your money, they're using your money to defend. Yeah. So when somebody says to the FAA, well, we're going to file a suit. What are you going to sue over?
Must be like the guy's
uncle. Is it you didn't follow the proper procedures? Is it that you didn't give people enough time to comment? There has to be
you're taking away
some
our
law
rights.
Broken. Now, when you talk about personal freedoms, now we're talking constitutional issues. Have you seen our Congress trying to make sense of the politics that come into play when you start talking about what's constitutional and what isn't?
And we see that doesn't really matter these days.
And it doesn't matter anyway. The amount of time and money that's
why I don't worry about all this FAA crap, but because by the time it's set in stone and done, I'll be dead.
Well, either that or you just do what you're going to do anyway.
And that's what
they're going to have the drone cops coming out to your house to keep you from flying around the property there. Come on.
That's what I say. I've never had problems with police. If anything, they're interested. They hang out and watch. It's not an issue.
There's like 3 field guides for the FAA out there across the whole freaking country.
Yeah, exactly. And
the people that are going to nail are the idiots flying their phantoms over an airport.
Over airports, yeah.
It's not going to be an FPV. Even more of a reason to go FPV, in my humble opinion.
And I think the technology somehow always comes in to save the day.
With the DJI.
If you think about the controversy when they outlawed incandescent light bulbs. Remember the hoorah and the stink?
Is that a fact that they're outlawed?
Well, they
you have to just can't manufacture them anymore?
No, they were trying to force everybody to buy these fluorescent coiled things at the time, which were full of mercury and very, but there was a big stink. They can't tell me what kind of light bulbs I'm going to use. I don't like those coiled things. I don't like the color temperature of the light. I want my incandescent 150 watt light bulb. And then all of a sudden, LED lights come along. that use
And they sucked it first too.
but they use 1/10 of the electricity. You can make them any color temperature you want, and they don't cost all that much now. And who the hell wants incandescent light bulbs now? You don't have
But they
to
also
outlaw
last
them.
longer.
You don't have to outlaw them. Technology has made them undesirable.
Absolutely.
And what'll happen is with this remote ID, the first shot at it might not work. And not only will they not be able to make it work, but if it doesn't work, they won't be able to enforce it. And the sky won't be full of drones delivering diapers crisscrossing all over the sky. And nothing that they plan to happen is going to happen. And then
Too many variables.
They'll look at it. Meanwhile, we'll still be just flying away because there's going to be a 3-year implementation period. And then
Not to
somebody
bring
come
up
up with another
politics.
idea and say, you know what, we got this tiny little SD card size board that you can just stick right on with a sticker. It's just like you stick an LED light. You can just stick it right on top of your drone, and that'll give you a remote ID, and that's all you need to do. And it costs $14. And pretty soon you'll go into Banggood and you'll buy half a dozen of these little $14 remote ID things, and stick them on with double-sided tape, and that'll solve the whole problem for everybody, because it's going to have to come to that, because the way that they're promoting it now is undoable.
Well, here's
Not
the
only
thing
that-
with that. Do you think a plane that's flying in the air is going to worry about a little Tinyhawk 2 flying around in the air?
Well,
They're more afraid of buzzards and stuff like that than they are some stupid little drone.
well, they're not even thinking about Tinyhawk 2s. They're thinking about delivery drones right now. They're thinking about guys who, photography, who are getting up there. We've got the Lance system, and that works. We've got laws, and you got to trust some people to obey the law. They all drive cars, don't they? There's no
And
remote
low
ID
speed.
in their cars monitoring their every move. They manage.
Listen,
to somehow,
with all this Corona crap, and nobody's collecting, and all these municipalities are broke, the last thing they're going to do is spend money on FAA people to go out and give Ed and Mitch a
that's
fine
a federal.
for flying.
That's federal anyway. It's got nothing.
They
to do
don't
with
have any money
municipalities.
anywhere. Trust me, I don't think it's going to be an issue. That's all I'm saying.
I don't either. And by the time I really think by the time it becomes an issue, that the technology will have
Will be
made it
wormwood.
simple and inexpensive. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm not worried about it. I could care
And I'm
less.
definitely not going to invest or donate money into a cause like that, because that is kind of silly.
like I say, I buy a lot of stuff from, I'm a customer of theirs. But as far as actually donating money, to go into some lawyers' pockets, God, I hate lawyers. Sorry, lawyers, if any of you lawyers out there.
No,
To
I
donate money-
agree. They're right up there with Internal Revenue agents.
Yeah, to make lawyers richer. Not. I've had a lot of experience with a lot of lawyers in my life, and interestingly enough, most of the time, a lot of times, I actually went in and represented myself in some of these smaller cases that I had to deal with. They call that pro se. You can be your own attorney. And I knew enough about the law. I actually did better without a lawyer in most cases, unless it was a really complicated case. You can get away with a lot more without a lawyer. There's a lot of procedural stuff that they don't hold you to as high a standard as they would a lawyer. And if you get the right judge,
Especially all the lawyer jargon.
yeah, it's an advantage. But I don't agree with this RDQ lawsuit. And again, it's my opinion. I'll play my disclaimer for you guys.
Offer no purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations. Void where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of the soundboard. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles well. Laughing heart.
Every opinion of mine comes with that very disclaimer. And
No new bills in mind.
No, what
Nothing,
do I
piquing
need?
your
God,
interest?
God,
I see
I want
behind you
to
your
fly.
picture there.
I want to
Yeah,
fly.
I hear you.
Yeah, a lot of things pique my interest, but I got plenty. What I ought to have is I ought to have a big sale and just sell off a bunch of the stuff I got and then build some new stuff.
There you go.
Be a hobby, you know.
I got dibs. Waiting for the weather.
Yeah, God. And this should be the prettiest time of the year coming up right now.
That's
You
what I was
know,
under the
we got
impression. Like
It
after
is. It
September,
normally
hurricane
is.
season is over for the most
Well,
part. Maybe
hurricane season
October.
doesn't. November 30th is the official end of hurricane season.
Yep.
I thought it was
But,
September.
So we got 18 days to go.
November 30th, yeah, the end of November. It's the 10th now.
Not 18. My math
22
is
days.
off.
22 days.
Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, and sure enough, we get this stupid storm. This
And it doesn't even know where it wants to go.
No, it really doesn't. It's
They're talking about it circling around in the Gulf. Just,
Yep. Here, I'll show you where.
Does this have a name?
Ada.
Zeta,
ETA.
I think. Is
Not
it Zeta?
Ada.
Zeta was
ET,
the last one.
ETA. ETA. Here, let me find this here.
So, Danny, Drone Worship ought to get some good action out of it.
Oh, no doubt. Here it is, right here, man.
They've cleaned up its path a little bit.
Well, this is not the one that shows you the path. This is the spaghetti model chart.
Okay.
So you can see the path is where most of the spaghetti models go. So Ed, it's coming. It's going to go close. I'm right here. See where the little thumb is? Right here below Orlando is where I am. You're up here, right where all those things are crossing.
Yeah, it'll be a weak piece of crap by the time it crosses
Well,
the state.
it'll be here. Hold on a second. Let me see what it says here. It says 50 knot winds, 60-mile-an-hour winds, Ed.
Yeah, that's when it's still on that side of the ocean.
No, that's right here, but that's just got to go. So you got
Ed, you better hold on to something when you go to work.
Yeah,
because you
right
got
now it's
no
over
meat on
here.
your bones there, bud.
And right now it's over. Right now it's over here. Just coming up on the Keys. It's going to turn into a Cat 1 storm out here when it gets.
You may
out
want to
over the
find
Gulf.
that blind date fat girl that you went out with a long time ago, Ed. Hold on to her.
And then Tampa is right over here where Dan is. I'm right over here, directly across the state from Tampa, south of the Cape. So, not looking. It's going to be messy. All I can tell you is it's been windy.
When is it coming?
It'll
Or
bring
when
a
is it
bunch
due to
of
arrive?
crappy weather, that's all.
Well,
Look, man, I've lived in Florida most all my life, and I kind of know these things. And when they come from the other side of the state, they get knocked down by the time they get to me. But Rick said to put some batteries in my pockets to weigh me down.
Something, yeah.
So
Rocks.
here's what we got. Here's what we have right now.
This is coming when?
There's the storm. Okay, see it? See the eye?
Yeah, the clear circle.
This clear circle. Okay, now stop flashing on me. It's supposed to be changed. Okay, so here's where I am.
Are you getting rain now, Mitch?
Yeah, because I'm right. Here's Palm Bay, and
Right,
I'm
I
right
see it.
here. I'm right there. See where I'm moving my mouth? I'm right up
Yeah.
there. And these big bands, just keep coming off the ocean. They just keep coming, and they're going to continue. The real weather is right down here where you see the red, and that's down over Miami, Fort Lauderdale right now. But this thing is
Fort
going to go
Lauderdale.
all the way out. It's going to go all the way out here in the Gulf, and it's going to turn around, and then it's going to come back across it. It's going to take like till next Friday to do all that. So we're going to be stuck with this nonsense for
A week.
the whole entire week. Yeah. And the winds are just going to be ridiculous. So no flying. other than flying inside around the house. I think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be terrible.
That's some nice oranges that were going across Lake Okeechobee down there
Oh
too.
yeah, and it's like I said, when you're on the northeast quadrant, they call that the dirty side of the storm.
Yeah, definitely the
Because
dirty
that's where
side.
all those bands keep coming in off the ocean, bringing all that rain. So, hey, the good news is we won't have any fires. You know.
The bright side.
Yeah. Yeah, it's down by Naples. The whole state's going to be stuck with this thing all week.
All right, I'm gonna have to come down in November then.
Well, it is November.
I mean, all right, December. Sorry,
Yeah.
I forget what day it is. I can't believe just the other day was March. It's already freaking November. Time. I don't know about you,
when
but
you're having
time is
I know.
flying. It's been going
know,
quick.
it's
Even the
terrible.
minutes of the day for me, it just seems. I don't know.
The older you get, the quicker it goes.
Well, that's true, and they've proved that scientifically. Somebody actually put out a YouTube video that explained scientifically why time passes quicker the older you get. I didn't watch
Really?
it. Yeah, they actually came
Is
up
it
with some
proportionate and some kind of
scientific reason. Has
getting
to
old?
do with quantum physics or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I got anything else for you guys tonight. Other than it's been a slow couple of weeks as far as drone flying goes.
I'm
Drone build or
looking
anything else?
forward to. I'm looking forward to going into beta flight and playing with the Center Pro, Mitch, and looking for the twitchy thing on the receiver tab.
Yeah, that's easy to find, and it came with the receiver.
Yes, I ordered it with a Freisky receiver. And the thing is that
XM
there
Plus,
was
right?
no RSSI at all on the OFD, but I turned it on. Oh, and I turned on something in the configuration thing that it didn't kick me out, but then when I pulled up back, when I flew it, it had a 0, showed full RSSI, but the number was 0 and it just flashed.
Well, it
And
wasn't getting any.
I knew it was because I didn't have it set up right, you know.
Yeah, but if it's an XM Plus, it should have the right firmware in it to actually give you the RSSI on, and it's usually on channel aux 12, which is channel 16.
Right.
But it's called aux 12 because the aux channels start on channel 5.
After
Right.
the
Channel
first
5 is aux 1,
the-
channel 6 is aux 2. Yeah, it makes it real simple to understand that way. They should just call it channel 5 aux 5, but they don't do it that way.
The slide ad will get some of that weather because he's kind of like in the middle of the state.
Everybody in the state's going to get some of this, some worse than others, but it's not going to be.
When is it due to come?
It's here. It's here now.
Oh, you're experiencing it. All right, got it.
Oh God, yeah, I just showed you.
And the
We're getting
winds?
those
No,
big
and the
bands
winds
coming
and all
in.
that
Yeah,
too?
the winds. Well, the winds are 20 to 30 miles an hour now,
Wow.
and they'll probably stay over 20 miles an hour. When I look at my my app here.
Does your area
UAE.
drain?
Yeah,
You don't
we're not
flood?
going to get. We're going to get spotty rain. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to be a total washout. But when I look at my UAV forecast right now, it's showing 24-mile-an-hour winds with gusts to 44 miles an hour at 100 feet.
That's substantial.
When I look at the first column there, it's all red. That's the next 24 hours. It's just all red. And at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, it goes down to 20 miles an hour. But
I'll tell you this right now, your radar looks a lot different than mine, Mitch.
No, you're up there in the clear now. I think all that stuff is south of you, Ed. Right
It
now.
is.
Yeah, but it's going to start heading north, and yeah, you're 120 miles north of me.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, if we got nothing else to talk about, I'm going to call it a night. I'm getting a little tired here at 10 minutes to 10.
I haven't had my beauty nap today. I could use it. I could probably use a beauty sleep forever, but.
So I think we'll shut it. I really only expected to go about an hour tonight because I knew we didn't have a whole lot scheduled. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about other than the Mini 2, and I didn't figure you guys heard enough about this Mini 2 now. You didn't want to hear too much about it from me.
Yeah.
I've watched my last Mini 2 video on YouTube, that's for sure.
I just don't have the interest. I hate to say it. I just don't have the interest.
Now, well, we know you don't have the interest.
I'm
I
sorry,
thought I might have an interest, but
I knew
but
you
that's
wouldn't.
why, well, and I kind of bought it knowing I'd probably take it back, but
well, I'm glad you
give it a
did.
shot.
Can't
Kept
be
me busy for a day.
Yeah.
Kept me busy for a day. Yeah. All right.
All right,
guys,
Mitch.
Well, y'all have a good night. I'll see
Thanks
y'all
for
Edward.
later.
coming in. Always good to see
Take
you.
care. Thanks for putting up with my nonsense occasionally.
Oh, we love you guys. Both of you. All
Take
right,
care,
Carlos.
Mitch. Have a good night.
Take care, buddy. Be good. All right, everybody. I cut it out a little early tonight. Thanks for coming in. I don't know what we accomplished tonight. Well, we had a nice little chat anyway. A couple of guys hanging around. So we say good night to everybody. Rhett, RH, thanks for coming in. Ken Hofbrauer, thank you. Steve Beck, Carlos, Sly Dad, Bob Drone Days, Rick Halber's still here. Ed Pate. Good to see you, Rick. Jaybird, thanks for coming in. I know Mike from Night Train was here. I don't know if he's still here. Let's go up a little ways. Ed, love my drones. Thanks for being on the panel, and thanks to Art for being on the panel. Dan, thanks for stopping by, man. Hope you're feeling good. Turbo Omni, somebody new tonight, thank you. Chris Hope was here, and I don't know if Chris is still hanging around, but congratulations, man. You're doing great. Jody Drone Shots is probably in there somewhere, and if I missed anybody else, catch you next time. Thanks for coming in, and as always, guys, take the rest of the day off. Go play with your drones, and if I don't see you before, probably catch you Thursday night, and probably haven't done any flying until then either. In the meantime, I will turn it over to my trusty sidekick, Spank, the monkey, to say goodnight. See you later.